allegiance and remain standing afterwards.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing for a moment of silent prayer to help guide and direct us. And of course, keep in your prayers all the veterans that have helped us keep our country free. Thank you. Roll call, please.
William Dorsey.
Present.
David Kramer.
Here.
Mark Lehman.
Here.
Tim McKinley.
Here.
Larry Rule.
Here.
Ed Weiss.
Present.
Thank you. Everybody should have a copy of the agenda in front of them. I have no changes. Anybody else have any additions or changes?
Motion to approve. Second.
A motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. You have the minutes of the October 9th regular meeting in front of you. There are no changes. Need a motion?
So moved. Second.
Got a motion, a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We have a couple citizens and guests here. First, we have Josh Wise from PDS, who's our new executive director. So Josh is going to give us an update on what's going on at PDS.
45-minute presentation. Yeah, Mayor, thank you. You all hear me?
Yeah.
A little far away from my mouth. Mayor, thank you. Council members, thank you. I started my role as an executive director almost 3 months ago now, Mayor. And so I'm just making my rounds to all 19 cities and then the county itself just to say hi, to either introduce myself to those who may not know me, and for those who do know me, just to reintroduce myself in my new role. So just appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight. I'm very glad you have me on the agenda before John. So he will be at our board meeting next week.
He knows it's an independence, right?
Yeah, do you know it's an independence? Mayor Irishman thinks it's going to be canceled because it's an independence. But anyways, just a bit about my background. I joined PDS a little over 4 years ago to contribute to designing and launching the Community Development Initiative that works with all the cities and local governments in Kenton County to really bridge that gap of all of our functions at Planning and Development Services. We're very heavy on the regulatory side with planning and zoning and building inspection and street inspection and all that good stuff, but the management board and the organization, the executive director at the time, wanted to create a program that also helped communities more proactively see the kind of development, realize the kind of development that they were interested in. I grew up mainly just down the road here in Edgewood. For the past several years, I've lived in Erlanger, a parishioner at St. Pius, and attended Kenton County Schools, Northern Kentucky University, and Thomas More. My professional experience, in addition to my time at PDS, has mostly been on the economic development side, both on the public and private sector. I served as economic development director and as city administrator for a city here in Northern Kentucky for about 10 years combined in those roles. And then between those roles, I served as vice president for Ready Cincinnati, which is the private regional economic development initiative across the river. As you all know, at PDS, we manage several functions on behalf of our local governments, from planning and zoning, infrastructure, building inspections, GIS mapping, and code enforcement. We also are the managing organization of the Kenton County Planning Commission, the Joint County Board of Adjustment, and the Joint County Code Enforcement Board. I very much view our role as my predecessor did, as we are a partner to each local government we serve. We are an extension of your team. We are an extension of your staff. And that is what I preach to our team and the elected officials that we work with. I am just a phone call or a text away. I will follow up after this meeting with a note to all of you so you have all of my contact information handy. happy to meet around your schedules. I know you all are, busy professionals and have about 4 or 5 different lives you've got going on in addition to your service here. So always happy to come out for a meeting or speak with you or meet with you at your convenience. So with that, I would be happy to answer any questions and get on with your meeting.
Any questions for Josh?
Thank you.
I just want to say, Josh, the transition from Charmerly to Josh was seamless. It worked out very well, and that's what we wanted, and that's what local governments are looking for, and looking forward to working with you going forward.
Thank you, Mayor. And I've got a bunch of checks for you to sign too. The mayor's our treasurer as well, so.
Well, and Mayor,
Just before the audit.
Yes, before the audit, please.
Mayor, I've known Josh for many years and worked with him professionally, and he's a good choice for PDS's executive director, so I want to say that,
Thank you.
glad to hear that you stepped into the role.
Thank you, Alex.
And they have backfilled his position, right?
They have. I'm not sure if any of you, so our community development manager, I'm not sure if any of you have ever had the pleasure to interact with Megan Bessie. She was in our planning department for about 5 years and on the zoning and code enforcement side for about 5 years. Resident of Ludlow, just a phenomenal hire for us. We had a lot of great interest, but it's also great when there's an internal candidate who's looking to move up and take on some additional responsibilities. Very, very familiar with all of our cities and the entire county. So, yeah, Megan's been a great, I think she's 4 weeks into it now. She's been a great fit for that. So,
Well, thank you very much for taking your time to come in tonight, Josh. Thank you.
Mayor.
See you next week.
Thank you.
Okay. 2024-2025 audit presentation. John Chamberlain, CPA. Go ahead.
All right, thank you very much, Mayor. I appreciate it. My name is John Chamberlain. I'm a CPA and partner at Chamberlain, Owen and Company, and a CPA firm in Erlanger that specializes in audits of governmental entities and nonprofits. And there's a lot of those here in Northern Kentucky. I was telling Josh a minute ago, we'll bump into each other several times at these meetings, probably here in the next month or two. But I do appreciate the opportunity to do the audit work again this year for the city of Crestview Hills. Our team, Shannon and her team, was here in August, and we really appreciate Alex and TJ and all that they and Stacy and all that they provide for us. They get everything for us very efficiently and take really good care of our team when they're here. Councilman McKinley wanted me to read the entire set of financial statements, like all 78 pages, word for word, but
And in German.
in German, yeah, bilingual, I could do that. I'm vicious. But I think it'd probably be better just to hit a few slides and let's hit the high point, since I already read them all for Finance Committee earlier the week. The first slide we're going to look at here, let's hit the space bar. TJ, I'm messing it up here. There we go. Is our audit opinion, and that's what we call an unmodified opinion, meaning there's no modifications that are required to the opinion, and that we believe, after doing all of our audit work, that we believe that your financial statements are fairly presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. As part of every governmental audit, we do a review of your internal controls. We want to make sure that your transactions of your riskiest assets are appropriately segregated. And for a city your size, you do a really nice job of having appropriate segregation of duties for your riskiest transactions, and we appreciate that. You also do something I think there's only 2 cities in Northern Kentucky do, and that's a member of your staff prepares your financial statements. We do not prepare these. You're one of the 2 cities in Northern Kentucky that has that. And so TJ actually prepared the financial statements. The opinion is ours, but the rest of it is his. And so that your control over financial reporting is just outstanding in that regard. And I think that's something that you should be very proud of in a city this size. So we had no significant deficiencies or material weaknesses in internal control to report. Also, as a part of every governmental audit, we do a review of compliance. That would be compliance with the Kentucky Revised Statutes, KRS 91 Alpha, which is the statute that governs most city government, and also with any debt covenants, restrictions on any of your revenues, revenue restrictions, contributions to CSRS, IRS, tax payments, things like that. And we had no issues of non-compliance to report as well. We do make one planned audit adjustment. We make this every year to your, what we call your government-wide statements, where we give TJ a number to gross up or gross down the net effect of your unfunded pension and OPEB liabilities. You actually have an OPEB asset and a pension liability, and which is relatively new for Crestview Hills. And so we provide that to him, and he incorporates that into the financial statements. We also had no management letter of comments to provide this year. You've done a really nice job in the prior years when we've had management comments, or there's things that we've suggested. You've acted on them appropriately, and so we had no management comments for 2025. Let's get crazy and talk some numbers here. This is, this is your assets, let's see, your unrestricted cash, capital assets, and receivables. So it's your government-wide assets. So I'm going to scroll down just a little so you can see the rest of it. So it's a 5-year chart, and you can see the green bar there. That's cash. You had right at $5.7 million in cash. That's about $677,000 more than the prior year. The Governmental Finance Officers Association, the GFOA, has just a rule of thumb that recommends that city governments, municipal governments, have approximately a 3 to 6 month of operating expenses on hand in cash. And so for Crestview Hills, that's right about $1.2 million. That's where that red arrow is. And you can see you have 5.7. So you have about 14 months worth of cash on hand. So in a very solid cash position for the city. The blue bar is your capital assets. That's right at about $5.1 million, about $127,000 more than the prior year. And then the gray bar are just receivables, and that's very standard year to year to year for the city. So this is the citywide. I'm going to call it the debt comparison. It's not really debt, but these are your liabilities in the government-wide financial statements. The red is any long-term debt, and that's really just about where's my number? It's on the wrong page. That's why it's not there. $9,000 in compensated absences. That's vacation that you owe to your employees, and you can see that number is pretty consistent year over year. The purple is the pension liability, and it's about $580,000, down from about $603,000 in 2024. Obviously, because that's tied to the CSRS portfolio, that's directly tied to the market performance, as the market has been outstanding in the last 3 years especially. And so as the market performs, the value of that portfolio grows and your unfunded pension liability shrinks. And so the OPEB liability has actually gone away, and the pension liability there at about it's $579,000. So just a real good spot that's been decreasing here the last few years. And then the yellow are your accrued liabilities, your current liabilities that are due at June 30th, and much higher than the prior year. But really, it's about $560,000 in accrued capital projects. These are capital projects that you're working on. It's unfortunate that city government ends at June 30th because you do most of your work April, May, June, July, August, September. That's really your busy season for capital projects. So you accrued a lot of those expenses. You had a lot of payables at June 30th. You were doing quite a bit of capital projects in 2025. This is just a 5-year graph of revenues versus expenditures. The revenue being the green line, and you see very, very stable very dependable revenues for the city. The red is the expenditures. That bounces around a little bit based on the capital asset expenditures that you're doing this year. You had about almost $1 million, right, 90, what is that number, $940,000 in capital projects this year. So that, obviously, that jumps around when you do those capital projects. And you'll see this in a graph here in a moment. But those numbers do jump around based on when you do your capital projects. You tend to do those about every other year, where you have a bevy of capital projects that are happening every year. Your expenses, or the variance between the revenue and expenses, right at about $96,000. It was about $1 million last year, obviously, but because you didn't do the capital projects last year. This is the revenues by your sources for 2025. Again, right at about $4.8 million of revenue, about a 1.6% increase. By and large, the largest portion of your revenue for licenses and permits, right at about $3.5 million, a 1.7% increase. Relatively small increase for the city. We've seen it larger in past years. It's not a decrease, so that's good. Your property taxes, right at about $814,000. Yes, about almost 2% increase. Obviously, you've not had a tax increase. That's all through valuation. Anything new in the city plus increase in valuation. And then intergovernmental revenue down just slightly, down about $5,000, about 3.6%. Interest income up about $2,000, basically more cash in the bank to accrue more interest. Okay. These are your expenditures by what you expended them on. So about $4.7 million, about a 1.6% increase in expenditures, and to remember to turn the page, I get really confused. About a 27% increase in expenditures. Public safety at $2.3 million, a 6% increase. Public works about $1.4 million. Again, that's where I said it's like an every other year for your public works, so that's a 140% increase over the prior year. Your general government, right at about $832,000, about a 2% increase, and then community development about a 16% increase. Some of your public works projects, you completed the Vernon Drive reconstruction. That's been a big one, about $700,000. The Shinkle Bridge, about $65,000, and then the Ron Valley Centerview intersection, about $34,000. So those are some of your larger projects that you completed during the year. So this shows public safety expenditures for the last 5 years. Again, you see that 6% increase at $2.3 million. And that's just a pretty even step up year over year for public safety. You can see that's been increasing, again, very level steps year over year. This is your public works expenditures. The graph I was talking about, kind of your every other year. I actually expanded this. I was going to include it on here, but I thought I don't want to get out of it's every 5 years, but I've got this back to 2013 or something, and it's like this every other year. It steps every other year, so it's pretty amazing to look at. And then your general government expenditures, very, very consistent over the last 5 years. Okay. Again, this is me. If, again, unmodified audit opinion, so that's the highest opinion that we give, no internal control deficiencies or weaknesses, and no issues of compliance. Any questions or anything that I can answer? I'd be happy to answer anything that you have. And then you can also, there's my email. Email is the best way to contact me if you have a question that maybe you don't want to talk about in council.
Anybody have any questions? Larry, you want to give a report for the Finance Committee?
Yeah, the Finance Committee met on Monday, November the 10th, and we reviewed the audited financial statements for fiscal year 24-25 with John. The committee was happy with the report and commended TJ Holman and the rest of the staff on the hard work for preparing the report. The committee reviewed the upcoming projects in public works, and we discussed the cash flow needs of these projects as well. And I'll finish the rest of that during my finance report, but I want to thank John for the hard work that he puts in every year. I think the work that he does is great, and we appreciate it.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Would you want to make a motion to approve the audit?
Motion to approve the audit.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Mayor's report, I don't have any report tonight. City Administrator's report, Mr. Manley.
Thank you, Mayor. In your packets is my written report with some explanations, including about the Lookout Farm Bridge Replacement Project and the good news. And I don't want to steal Mr. McKinley's thunder, so I'll let him announce that. However, I do want to make you, as well as the citizens, aware that there is the St. Vincent de Paul Turkey Foot Trot, which is a 5K race on Saturday that affects the Office Park and the Summit Lakes neighborhood. It's from 9 a.m. to noon. The route, it weaves in and out of Thomas More's campus along Thomas More Parkway. The most affected would probably be Legends Way at Thomas More Parkway. They'll have a police officer stationed there, and that's only when the runners are going by. Well, they obviously have to stop traffic. So the police wisely put a digital sign out in the neighborhood or adjacent to the neighborhood announcing that. So if you get any questions, that's what it is, and we'll try to remind people on our Facebook page too. But this happens every year. Sometimes we have 2 at 5Ks. It's pretty common. So if you have any questions,
The signs were really nice, so.
Yeah.
I can't claim credit. Chief Dagenhart thought
Well, I
that.
think we have to thank Lakeside Park for that. They purchased
Oh,
it.
that's true. Well, I want to echo Mr. Rule and you, Mayor, that I appreciate our finance officer and our city clerk, and also finance administrative clerk Mary Bach. They put in the hard work to keep the wheels rolling and the finances secure. So that's my report.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? No, continuing business. New business. Order Resolution 2025-11-1, accepting the bid of JTM Smith's Construction and authorizing a contract for a Lookout Farm Bridge Replacement Project. Tim, you want to say something about that? Or you want me to handle it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Everybody should have that resolution. The Lookout Farm Bridge, of course, has been discussion for many, many years because of the flooding that occurs occasionally on Shinkle Road and Lookout Farm. We went out for bid on this last month. We're really concerned about the bids because they've been all over the board anymore. And we did get 5 bids, which was great. And those bids range from anywhere from $712,000 to $1.2 million. So recommendation from our engineering company is that we accept the low bid of JTM Smith Construction for $712,229.63. So if there's no questions on that, we need a motion. What? Go ahead.
May I add something, Mayor?
Sure.
Just since we got a reporter here. So just for the public, the Dry Creek portion, or the bridge over Lookout Farm Drive that goes over Dry Creek during torrential rains, that creates a choke point for the creek where it spills out into the roadway intersection, which creates a problem because there's a one-way in, one-way out situation. If it's covered in water, it's a safety issue. Doesn't happen a lot, but when it does happen, it's something that's not so great. So this will address that.
JPM was significantly under. I saw a note where we had contacted them to make sure that they were comfortable with the bid.
Right, our engineer contacted them.
And they verified that they were comfortable.
Right.
Yes, okay.
And also, they've done work for our engineering company in the
Okay.
past, so
Good.
they feel very comfortable with it.
All right.
And
That's
she
good.
checked with other people in the engineering company that also were familiar with them to make sure that this good news was indeed good news, so.
And in some cases, some of their line items were lower, but then there were some that were a lot higher than everybody else.
As usual.
Yeah, that's right.
Motion to approve.
You got a motion approved, need a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. The next item is Executive Order 2025-10-1. This is just information only. This is the items that we're surplusing. It includes Alex's old former vehicle, so that's on there. And if anybody wants to, well, I don't think we can bid on it, but you can, if someone wants an Easter bunny costume, it's out there.
Starts December 5th.
Yeah, the bidding will start on September 5th, so
December 5th.
December?
Or, yeah, December 5th.
Okay,
I think you said September.
okay, December 5th. Thank you. No other new business. Committee reports, Public Works, Mr. McKinley.
We held our meeting on Wednesday, November the 5th. It was well-attended, and we covered the continuing business of the committee. The Turkey Foot Road projects that have been going on, there's no update to that at this point. The Dixie Highway Sidewalk Project, Verantis has been contracted for design. It's moving forward with permits and easements, and I do believe that there's no real need for easements because the guy that's on the property said, great, we want to have that. He's considered it a great improvement. That's a good deal. Horse Branch Road, there's an engineering agreement that is due to be signed or was signed? I got was signed.
Was signed.
Was signed, okay. They're waiting for the erosion report to be finished by SD1, which needs KYTC approval needed for design. Lookout Farms Bridge we just talked about. One thing about that I want to point out, we had bids, we had an estimate drawn up by a company outside of our area, and all of their estimates were high. And so we budgeted for that, and it came back significantly less. And of course, during a project, there can always be contingencies added, and we're kind of expecting that, I guess, to a degree. But this is a significantly lower bid than our budget, which turns around and explains why we're spending less money than we're budgeting and keeping our taxes down. And I think that's important. You know, we're really keeping the taxes low in this city, and it's a good place to be. So there you go. Thomas More Parkway, they're working with the Water District to replace a main line. They're doing that in coordination with Edgewood. The monies for that project won't be available until July the 1st of 2026, so we got a long way before that project starts. Woods Point bid will go out in December. It's our first project. We're going to use the inner layer and the top coat system. This new system will give us a chance to evaluate how long this road will last and hopefully use it in other streets throughout the city. Centerview repaving will be a mill and overlay project. And we have one staff report about crack sealing on Thomas More, which should be finished as of today. Shinkle Road would be next for crack sealing, and that would be my report.
Can I ask a question, please? So, I'm sorry I missed the meeting, Tim, but in looking at the budget for what we just approved, so the total for that bridge is $712,000 and some change. We're being reimbursed from SD1, $371,000.
Right.
So that's not incremental to, so the total is not going to be 1 million. So the total outlay from the city is down to $341,000 and some change.
We also have about $300,000 of engineering cost on that
Right.
project. too.
Okay,
So,
that clarifies. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's well done.
But still, it's good
That's a
news.
lot less than we thought we were going to.
Yeah, we have to budget the full amount because the ST1's are reimbursement,
Right.
so.
So we still have the outlay, but we get the money back. So-
And just for everybody's information, we talked about the Horse Branch Road, we talked about Thomas More Parkway, and we talked about Centerview. Those are all being done with assistance from grants.
Right.
So,
That's well done. Good job, Tim.
great.
Thank you.
Keep those bids coming in low.
It's easy, just tell them they're real high.
Wave your hand.
Everything's $2 million until you get an estimate.
Mr. Rule, Finance.
Yes, as I said earlier, the Finance Committee did meet on November the 10th, and I've already talked about reviewing the audited financial statement. We also reviewed the upcoming projects for Public Works, and we discussed the city's cash flow needs for these projects. We have a lot of projects, there's a lot of grants. The problem with the grants is you have to do the project first, and then you get reimbursed. So although the net may be 300,000, we still have a large cash outlay before that comes in. And if you look at all the projects that are coming up, including the building expansion, the cash flow could be a little tight. And so what we discussed was perhaps a line of credit that the city would take out just as an emergency in case we do get low on cash. Looking at about $1 million, there would be a lien on the building. It would be a 3-year line of credit. Cost is about $1,000. We did get a couple of proposals from a couple of banks. And Republic Bank did have the best proposal for us. So the committee recommended to the council that we get a line of credit for that $1 million at some point, so that we can handle any cash flow situation that might come up. I know we got $5.7 million, but money goes quick when you're doing these big projects. So anyway, that's the recommendation. Everybody should have gotten our October financial package that TJ distributed. October was the start of a quarter. Payroll tax collections were double last year's October collections. Sounds all great, almost double. But it appears that Kenton County, who recently switched to a new online reporting and deposit system, is making collections faster than the old mail method. And as such, it's hard to tell whether we're ahead of last year or behind for that quarter. So we'll really have to start analyzing after the second month of the quarter to see how payroll tax contributions or payroll tax collections are doing. And that's all I have.
And just for council's information, I anticipate bringing up the line of credit for a vote in December. Great, thank you. Police Authority, Mr. Dorsey.
A regular monthly meeting was held on October 20th. There was a quorum present. We reviewed all financial statements, warrants, and requests for payment, and made a motion to pay the bills and remain solvent. The chief reported that Patrolman Henderson and Patrolman Boyers attended a forensic strangulation investigation class. Sergeant Mullins and Colonel Dagenhart attended a U.S. drone training through the Northern Kentucky Police and Sheriff's Training Center, and now are FAA certified pilots. Wow. Patrolman Holman, along with several of the Kenton County SWAT team members, attended a trunk or treat event. And the Kenton County Police applied for a navigator program, which has began. We're a part of that, and we have an assigned navigator police social worker, and her name is Samantha Daly. So she will be working with our officers anytime that it's observed that a citizen needs special care or help, and her social work skills will kick in. So whether it's domestic or a child problem, there's just many times a social worker's much better way than a police officer to go. So we look forward to that. I think that's a real step forward.
Mr. Dorsey is paid with opioid settlement funds for her position, yes.
Under new business, There was an emergency management, mutual aid and assistance agreement. And basically what this allows is for, in time of an emergency, a disaster, it enables our police to go anywhere that they're needed and vice versa. If we have the emergency or the problem here, others can come in to help us.
And that's
So-
statewide, right?
That's statewide. So this is just good government, I think. That'd be the end of the report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Dorsey? Safety Committee?
We haven't met since the last meeting.
Okay, thank you. Fire and EMS, Chief Dickman, Edgewood?
Good evening.
Great.
Just a few things I'd like to call your attention to. Our department is finishing up our annual maintenance of the hydrants and begun the winterization of those hydrants. So our crews will go out and inspect every hydrant in the territory to ensure that those hydrants have been shut off and are not malfunctioning, leaking in any way. So during the winter time, if an incident would occur, that those hydrants aren't frozen. Any of those hydrants that we find to be leaking, we create a list, send it to Northern Kentucky Water District, and they rectify those issues and repair them. Tomorrow, myself and our internship coordinator will be traveling down to Greenville, Kentucky. We have 2 recruits who are graduating from the Kentucky Fire Academy. This academy is a 14-week intensive training, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. They've completed their training, will be graduating, and they will come out with several certifications, national certifications, and will soon be a great asset to Northern Kentucky, along with the other members that have graduated in this class. This is the 7th class that the Kentucky Fire Commission has put on, and it's been very successful throughout. So we're very excited for these 2 individuals. And also, I'd like to add on to what Mr. Dorsey said about the Navigator program. The same Navigator assigned to Crestview Hills is also assigned with Edgewood. We've already utilized those services, and it's a great asset resource for us, for our customers. And we will be working with Samantha. I believe she's also been assigned to the city of Fort Mitchell. And we're coordinating with the Fort Mitchell Fire Department ourselves, putting on some training classes, and just to know about the resources available with her. But it seems to be a great program, and in a short period of time, we've already utilized her services, and we've been very pleased with it. So,
Great. Any questions? Chief, thanks for coming in.
thank you.
Development and Zoning, Mr. Kramer?
Committee has not met since our last meeting. We do have one announcement to make. We're very pleased to report that Torres Mexican Steakhouse will be opening in the old TGI Fridays location over here just off of 275 and Turkey Foot. It's a family-owned Mexican restaurant chain that features hand-cut Angus steaks, so we're looking forward to that. There's one out in Florence on 42, almost just before you get to the Kroger store out there. It's across 42. And there's also one in Williamsburg, so we'll be the 3rd one in their chain. So we're very much looking forward to that opening.
And I think they're anticipating sometime in February at the present.
Yeah, they're working on it now. They'll be open early next year.
Yeah. Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you. Cheer and Recycling, Mr. Wise?
Nothing new to report.
Okay. Recreation, Mr. Lehman?
Just one quick announcement to kind of save the date. We're looking at the 75th City of Crestview Hills anniversary dinner. It's going to be on October 3rd. Times to be announced, but it's going to be at the Summit Hills Country Club. We're planning a very nice semi-formal seated dinner with cash bar as well as light hors d'oeuvres. So you put that on your calendar, ladies and gentlemen, and more details to come. We're going to be finalizing those details coming up at our next meeting on December 3rd.
Thank you.
October, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. October 3rd is the dinner.
Right.
This coming meeting is December 3rd.
Thanks.
for the committee.
Okay. Any mention about the dinner with Santa? We have some seats still available for residents.
From what I understand, the only seating that's available, limited seating, is at the 4:30 seating. Everything else is booked.
We do have a wait list, though.
Do we?
Yeah.
Yes, there's a cancellation or wait list if people want to get on that.
And we are collecting, a food drive this year is going to be going to St. Elizabeth's Pantry, which helps out people who are going through treatments and need some assistance in food.
Right.
So canned, non-perishable, or canned goods or anything like that, plus cash will be accepted.
It's specifically their cancer center.
Right. One comment I'll just make, since I didn't have a report, Alex and I did meet with Mr. Garen Colvin from St. E's Hospital this week. We do meet with them every 6 months, and it was a pretty productive meeting, so just want to let you know that is still occurring. Personnel, public relations, nothing new on that. Telecommunication Board, unknown right now. Communications, we will probably be working on a newsletter probably sometime in December. So if anybody has any specific articles that you want to put in, let Stacy know. That's all I have.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Do the same.